It is exactly 10 p.m. in the studios of UBC TV. Hello there and welcome to News Tonight this Tuesday, the 7th day of January 2020. Let's have a look at our top stories. In our news tonight, President Musevenis says information gathered during the trek is for future planning. Police in Gulu Block MP Chagulanyi consultation meetings. Kasem Suleiman burial stampede kills more than 30 mourners at burial. And in sports, the national under-17 women team intensify training ahead of game against Ethiopia. Hello there and welcome once again. On sign language, it is Mogalu Mohammed and I am Edward Rukidi Kijanangoman. Let's get started. President Musevenis has revealed that the section of the 2020 Great Trek from Ndilabweru to Butologo Hills in Kiboga district reminds him how instrumental the area was during the bush war. He says the area was strategic with a unique terrain for clandestine attacks aimed at securing guns and ammunition as plans were underway to ensure a successful attack on Kabamba military barracks in Mubende district in 1981. Now, the president was addressing trekkers in Ndilabweru campsite in Kiboga district on the fourth day of the 195-kilometer long trek. Let's get this story.
As we draw towards the end of the 7-day Africa Kwetu trek, President Musevenis has revealed that this trek has been of more importance because it has enabled him to check his system of people's contacts, thanking them, verify the strength of the Liberation War supporters' compensation process, and Operation Wealth Creation implementation. He said that the information gathered will be used for future planning purposes. Addressing trekkers at Ndilabweru campsite, the president stressed that it is good to know the historical background of the Liberation War, particularly for the Bazukulu, so that they understand and appreciate the direction of the political history of Uganda. He assured Ugandans in areas where the trek has so far covered that their feeder roads will be developed and maintained because districts in the country have road construction units equipped for that job. He said that big districts like Wakiso should receive extra equipment, including graders and compactors. He expressed happiness that there are many modern residential houses in rural settings, noting that it is a sign of economic empowerment. Mr. Musevenis commended the Operation Wealth Creation program for a job well done, whereby 9 million coffee seedlings have been delivered to benefit 20,000 homes. He added that this was important in terms of rooting for wealth and job creation. He emphasized that the mission is a constructive effort and proposed that it should be done twice in every 5 years as it links him up with the people. He congratulated the Bazukulu trekkers for participating in the work, saying that the exercise keeps them healthy and fit, which is one way of avoiding non-communicable diseases that are responsible for 40% of deaths in the country. Mr. Musevenis called for the development of the prominent hilltops along the trek route as tourism spots in order to promote health tourism. He urged Wananchi to have trust in God, observe peace and political stability, practice modern farming, have their children embrace free primary and secondary programs, and observe land ownership regulations as enshrined in the Constitution. Prisla Namara reporting.
Thanks, Priscilla Namara, for that story. And of course, that trek enters day 5 tomorrow, and UBC TV news crew is there, and we'll be going live at one moment tomorrow to give you everything that will be unfolding there. Now, a political analyst, Professor Sabit Makara, has criticized the manner in which police handled Kyadondo East legislator Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, popularly known as Bobi Wine. Now, Kyagulanyi Ssentamu is on national consultations for the 2021 presidential bid.
On Monday, 6th, Kyadondo East legislator Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, popularly known as Bobi Wine, went for the first national consultation. He is seeking views for his presidential bid in 2021. The legislator had earlier sought permission from the Electoral Commission, which guided him to follow the consultation guidelines stipulated in the Presidential Elections Act 2005.
In our communication and response to Bobi Wine, we made him understand that consultation was different from campaigns, and we went on to mention that campaigns in a different section of the Presidential Elections Act, but consultations are also in another section. So we tried to make him understand, which goes to any other, not only Bobi Wine, that when you are consulting, you are seeking people's input into what you are presenting to them. Okay? And definitely you need an environment that can guarantee that exchange of ideas and discussions.
The first attempt in his Kyadondo East constituency failed as police told the legislator that the venue was inappropriate.
Was supposed to have the first meeting today at Our Lady of Good Counsel in the playground, which is an open venue. So that was one of the grounds for not to allowing him to go ahead.
So I think really anybody mature enough and can understand that consultation involves meeting an identified group and exchanging, having discussions with that group. Okay? So we did not tell him that make sure you are in this room, make sure you are in that room, no. But that one is under POMA, Public Management Act, which is outside our mandate. It is the mandate of the police to use.
This idea which police is introducing that, you have to be in a closed hall, that one I don't think it is in POMA. POMA says you should be in a designated place, and the owners of the premises should allow you. That's all. They don't say that the place must be closed.
Makerere University Don, Professor Sabit Makara, has criticized how police handled the legislator and supporters, that using excessive force was not necessary.
These people, the way I saw it on TV, they came in a gentle way. Bobi Wine and his supporters. But the police arrested them and they were calm. They didn't resist police arrest. But why did the police have to use tear gas, pouring tear gas in people's homes?
The Public Order Management Act has a lot of loopholes in between. It has general provisions. We wanted the government to issue regulations. Since 2013, for over 6 years, the Uganda government has not yet made regulations under the Public Order Management Act. As a result, there's a lot of arbitrariness by the police.
Professor Sabit instead urged the police to support the legislator and offer guidance.
So I think that police should really first think, if the Electoral Commission has allowed a certain candidate to canvass for support, not necessarily campaigning, the police should come out and assist every candidate who wants to canvass. In fact, to to be at the premises which he has designated or she has designated and say, no, this is the number. The number should not exceed this number. We don't think that the number should become 5,000 or 4,000. And also, maybe the candidate should not really carry out a rally as such, but consulting 200 people, 500 people in a place and secured by police, I think that should be the way to go.
Consultations on a presidential bid for any candidate is provided for in Section 3 of the Presidential Elections Act 2005. Diana Kote, UBC.
Meanwhile, the long-awaited People Power consultations, which were scheduled for the 7th of January in Gulu, failed to take off after police and UPDF soldiers surrounded the venue. Now, this was on grounds that it was not secure enough and did not have parking space. The Covenant Hotel, which had been booked to host Bobi Wine and his followers, has been put under siege by security operatives, as we hear in this report.
Police, led by Gulu District Police Commander Emmanuel Mafundo and a handful of officers dressed in the UPDF Army uniform, have blocked the People Power consultations in Gulu.
You don't mind.
Plea by the Mitiana Municipality MP Francis Zake and his entourage to let the consultations go on fell on deaf ears. Zake, in company of People Power coordinators from Acholi and West Nile region, called for the resignation of the DPC.
Tear gas, they want to, spoil everything up. But for us, we are not going to do that.
All day, police patrolled the streets, armed with guns, tear gas and batons, and resisting any attempts by People Power to forcefully access the premises. Frustrated supporters of People Power Pressure Group moved to and fro different hotels, including Kakanyero, Landos, Beach Comfort, but without any success to have the consultations happen.
And we're the ones who feed the community. This is already an enclosed place. I don't know which clause that they are meaning. Even there is no law that talks about covering. The enclosed place is this one, and it's small. It is not a garden like it was in Kampala. Yes, this is now his presidential campaign. I don't think it has anything to do with the ongoing process. But also my observation is that the team here on the ground, the people power team here, are not very organized. That is my own observation.
Hotel owners and Bobi Wine's lawyer, Tony Chitara, were dismayed by the police's decision. The Gulu District Police Commander Emmanuel Mafundo refused to comment, but one of his officers, only identified by his name tag as Javuru, ordered the People Power supporters and leaders to leave.
We are not here to fight.
Yes.
And there's no fighting whatsoever. And no need of fighting.
Yes.
Okay? But you would have come with what already on the ground for you.
No. What do you expect from us? Because we did everything within the law. Apparently, what is needed?
Aswa River Region Police PRO Jimmy Patrick Okema confirms police knew about the consultations, but the venue was not secure enough.
Now, the Democratic Party has described President Museveni's walk as an embarrassment to the Bush War historicals. DP President Norbert Mao, in a press conference held in Kampala, said President Museveni's vision of the walk leaves the country in underdevelopment. But a senior citizen rubbishes Mao for being ill-informed on issues of national development.
President Yoweri Museveni began a 6-day march through the jungles on Saturday, retracing the steps of the guerrilla forces before they seized power in 1986. Museveni's 195-kilometer walk started from Galambi in Wakiso district to Birembe in Kibale district, where the NRA faced one of the toughest battles in the fight to overthrow Bote's government. Critics have dismissed the walk as a stunt and a campaigning tool ahead of the 2021 elections. Democratic Party President Norbert Mao says President Museveni has abandoned the values of why he departed this country, saying pillars like democracy, part of the 10 points program, have failed.
How many envelopes did he distribute in Luwero Triangle to get people to volunteer to fight? How much money did he carry in sacks to mobilize people to fight? People fought because he declared a compelling vision of ushering in fundamental change in the country, which, as you can see, is in the 10 points program. So, the only way is for him to go back to why he started the work.
Notwithstanding, Uganda's GDP that was 400 billion shillings has grown to trillions of shillings with improvement in security, infrastructure, and people's livelihoods.
And the president has been very happy because he has been able to see some progress in as far as household incomes are concerned.
But Mao is worried that Museveni's work should emulate the War of the Cross, commemorated annually by the Christian community, to help him return to the principles.
To remind yourself of your value in the eyes of God, that I am so valuable that this kind of sacrifice can be done in my name. So I hope in his head, this should be his way of the cross. So, in the way of the cross, you go back to the original principles. So, the only salute he can give to his fallen comrades is to go back to the core principles of why he started the NRM. And you remember point number 1 on the 10-point program is democracy.
But most people participating in the Africa Quest Trek say Mr. Mao is unaware of Uganda's growth and development that Ugandans are enjoying.
Because particularly the group I'm in, Watoto wa Jeshi is a group for kids of the foreign comrades and those alive. So we're really tracing our father's footsteps, and it's really good, and we have learned the struggle was real, and we have to do everything possible to keep this revolution live.
Experience here, we are now learning because our parents they passed through that. We are here suffering with this, but we find this journey it is okay.
You can see how hard this is, but we keep going. We appreciate what they did. We appreciate it more as we go forward.
According to organizers, the 6 days walk that attracted over 1,000 people, led by the president, is meant to help Ugandans reflect on the past and plan for the future. Bernard Yiga, UBC.
Thanks, Bernard, for that report. And now we'll take a short break, but we'll return with much more. Do stay with us.
Hi, I'm DJ Drogba. On average, almost 250,000 people die on the road in Africa each year. As a proud African, this breaks my heart knowing that so many deaths could have been avoided. So when you're on the roads, follow these safe steps and help save lives. Make sure you stick to speed limits. They're there to protect you and others. Slow down at high-risk areas like junctions, sharp turns, and before traffic lights. And watch out for pedestrians, cyclists, and animals. To avoid collisions, keep a safe distance. And remember the 3-second rule. Pick out an object and count to 3. If you've passed the object before the count of 3, you're far too close. So when you're on the road, follow these safe steps and help save lives. We all have a role to play in road safety. Together, let's make Africa's road safer.
Welcome back from that short break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Now, Nasana Municipality headquarters in Wakiso district came to a standstill after the councillors forced town clerk out of office, accusing him of embezzlement. Now, they were led by the Speaker of the Municipality Council, Kasule Kalunji. Let's get more in this report.
Pandemonium broke out at Nasana Municipality when councillors in Wakiso district converged to the headquarters demanding the town clerk Atoko Ambrose to leave office. They accused him of embezzling public funds. The Speaker, Kalonji Kasule, led the councillors, but security guards blocked them from entering the premises of the municipality. After a scuffle, they entered carrying placards reading that the town clerk should vacate office.
Meya fe bakansala okimanyi mu mwezi tujja wano olunaku lumu gw'oli wano oli full time waka tekusasula omusaala wa mwezi mbadde nkusuubira okujja okwegatta ku bakansala b'okulembera
muziwoteri ne bagenda okugalamira muziwoteri ng'anaakawuka kali abantu katta abantu buli kiseera.
The DPC Nansana, Henry Chisube, calmed the situation. Meanwhile, the town clerk remained in office until police escorted him through the rear entrance. At a press conference, Wakiso RDC Rose Chirabira advised the councillors to remain calm as investigations are carried out.
The councillors are not this very game is played in your areas. This very game is played in your areas. But you are going to win a chance. The game is played, but winner service very well.
The RDC Chirabira also met the Mayor Nansana Municipality, Regina Bachite, who blamed the technical staff of the municipality for their involvement in embezzling the funds. She said all the technical people in the municipality should be out of office and be investigated.
Yes, I'm going to put it right here. Let us call the office. They start immediately by
That's what happened in Nansana earlier today. Now, the former Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Betty Amonge, has handed over office to former Minister for Kampala, Betty Kamya. Now, Minister Amonge emphasized that her successor must ensure Ugandans get security for their land.
While handing over office, the outgoing Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Betty Amonge, blew her trumpet, highlighting key milestones achieved under her stewardship.
We have been able to struggle to initiate and implement very key important issues.
Citing the already signed memorandums of understanding between government and different kingdoms, Betty Amonge implored her successor to follow up until the deal is sealed.
There are many issues that are pending related to laws, related to policies. So all those are areas which you will find on your desk.
Betty Amonge then tasked her successor, Betty Kamya, to further struggle of ensuring Ugandans have information and security through issuance of certificates of ownership of their pieces of land.
Where a Bibanja holder, the Bibanja is able to be surveyed and a certificate given to the Bibanja holders. It is the first experiment. It's a very critical area where you should concentrate, that people should have security of their tenure.
The incoming Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Betty Kamya, expressed optimism to fit in her predecessor's shoes.
So I come with that open mind. I come with no prejudices. I'm eager to fit in. I'm eager to work, and I'm eager to learn.
The Permanent Secretary, Dorcas Okalani, challenged the incoming minister to accomplish the pending projects.
We have pending bills which we are going to work on, and we are going to revisit the Land Act, which is quite a large sector, but I know you have the strength and you will manage.
Shaidat Nasaku, reporting for UBC.
In a related development, government has been urged to streamline the ministry that supervises agencies which offer electricity services like Electricity Regulatory Authority and UMEME during the handover ceremony to the new Minister for Energy and Mineral Development, Mary Goretti Kitutu. The outgoing Minister, Irene Muloney, said these agencies are currently under the Ministry of Finance, which to her is still a challenge.
Former State Minister for Environment Mary Goretti Kitutu is new Minister for Energy and Mineral Development, taking over from Engineer Irene Muloney. Muloney also handed over a report highlighting the structure, laws and policies of the energy sector. So the new minister will streamline supervision of agencies that offer electricity services.
The energy policy for Uganda 2002. We have the renewable energy policy for Uganda 2007. We have the electricity connection policy. The first two policies are under review, and the nuclear energy policy is under drafting.
Power generated has increased to 1,254.2 megawatts from 609.6 megawatts and is expected to reach 2,000 megawatts once Karuma Dam has been commissioned. This is aimed at eliminating load shedding. The report also indicated that electricity access is at 51% from 14% in 2011. 24% is through the grid, while 21% is off-grid.
And if we don't move fast, we might have again to go back to load shedding. So things to look at, geothermal, and looking at the off-grid options. Can we have villages off-grid? We have a lot of sunshine which is free. And so instead of all of us congesting on hydro, which could go to the industry. So these are the strategies that we have to look at. So
meanwhile, former State Minister for Minerals, Peter Lokeris, has handed over office to the new appointee, Sarah Opendi. Lokeris emphasized that mineral regulations need be amended.
To say these types of stones are in the category of minerals. The maram itself is a natural resource for the country. It must be included. They say they are buying sand, they are not buying. This is exploitation of resources of a country. All this must be taken into account so that you are able to make the country richer.
The incoming Minister Sarah Opendi cites areas in which the Ministry of Energy has had negative press because of corruption.
There have been reports of corruption in the Verification Agency. We have had issues around the mining, the minerals area. There have also been reported cases of corruption. I've talked about those who are speculators getting these licenses. So those are some of the areas that we're going to look at critically.
The ministry will prioritize extraction of oil, where currently 6 million barrels have been confirmed and recovered 1.4 million barrels crude oil. I'm Nafka Farida, reporting.
From Kampala, let's go to Mbale, where the Chief Magistrates Court sitting in Mbale has scheduled hearing of the human trafficking case for the 14th of this month. Now, this follows the arrest of the second suspect, Miriam Kadogo, who is alleged to have participated in forgery of documents that facilitated trafficking of the late Christine Nambereke to Oman.
Mbale Chief Magistrates Court will commence hearing of the human trafficking case against Stephen Kremo and Miriam Kadogo on the 14th of this month. Magistrate James Mawanda said after denying Miriam Kadogo bail on grounds that she would easily escape to Kenya since she stays in Namisindwa. Miriam is alleged to have participated in the forgery of documents that led to the trafficking of late Christine Nambereke to Oman. Hearing of the case had started on the 17th of December last year, but it was reversed following the arrest of the second suspect, Miriam Kadogo, on the 18th of December last year. Earlier, Stephen Kremo and Miriam Kadogo's lawyer, Agaba Nicholas from Mutembeland Company Advocates, had prayed that Kadogo be granted court bail because of her poor health and also being a breastfeeding mother. The magistrate ordered that Kadogo be taken to Mbale Main Hospital, which is near Maluku prisons. Speaking to Overseas Workers' Voice, Uganda human rights activist Miriam Mwiza said she is happy that court has denied Kadogo bail because she was very slippery to arrest.
Long for us to get these people, two of them, the accused ones, to get them arrested. That was one. And two, we had got enough information that the other suspect was trying to escape to Kenya. So and these people, they were together in this. So we looked at it, looking at the punishment of this particular case, and these people to be given a bail just like that. So those are some of the 3 conditions that have been given, and maybe the ones that one of the victim, one of the suspects was using his powers, his political powers, to influence.
According to the charge sheet, it's alleged that Stephen Kremo and Miriam Kadogo, in the month of March 2018, forged documents and trafficked Christine Nambereke to Oman. Nambereke died in Oman, and her body was brought back to Uganda with the help of the human rights organization.
It is exactly 10:30 in the studios of UBC TV. We'll now take a short break, but we'll return with what's happening in the world of business.
Olukugangana mu February mukono koni hotel kusaninga 2 February luwero mu Kisawe kukala olukugangana na February aje motele Mbarara mutwalo gumu gakomera nyo Valentine's Freedom City tutadiza kome piramide na David Lutalo adiye tugende concert Coca-Cola Roof from mattresses Sibyangu Standard Hotel Retete Yuna Chomino Water Nile Post Still Lager Next General Bank.
Welcome back. Let's have a look at what's happening in the world of business. And we go to Sembabule, where residents of Sembabule district have asked government to lift ongoing quarantine to allow them regain their business. The residents engaged Sembabule district police commander Dennis Musinguzi, demanding to get back to the cattle business as a way of preparing school fees for their children. In the closed-door meeting, the residents claimed that some markets currently open for cattle business despite the quarantine slammed on them. Now, since Tuesday, the Sembabule District Police Commander Dennis Musinguzi deployed anti-riot police in Rwemiyaga, where they engaged herdsmen in running battles to foil their attempts of taking livestock to market. Last year, the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries issued a fresh ban on slaughter, sale and movement of cattle in parts of Sembabule District following an outbreak of foot and mouth disease.
Ente ezo era kuzitunda tujja tusinze police commissioner ali in the church police and our police over the people are suffering in this area, but what are the stakeholders we understand? So we need our new minister
kwadde muno tebaalimu obwadde bwabeerako mu kitumba kiyita mitima obwadde obwo bwali naye okuva wano olw'emiyaga wetuli okutuuka emitima ziri mayiro eziwera 3 kati kitegeeza nti nno ewaffe tuli walako
ate kyewuunyisa akatale k'ekyemmamba kasaragana n'emitima tewawera kilomita n'emu naye okukakola
zibeera bizibu kubanga babeera wa politics basika omugabo basika tetugumanyi
nga baleeta eddagala ne bagemye nte obulwadde ne buyimirira we buli sisitemu n'egenda mu maaso so ne gavumenti ekyo nayo olubingi lwayo kubanga okugema ente mulimu gwa gavumenti sigwaffe naye ku disitulikiti tebanakutuusayo eddagala n'eddoozi n'emu.
And that was business news. We'll take a short break and we'll return with international news. Elsewhere in the world, we'll go to Iran, where 50 people have been killed and more than 200 injured in a stampede as Iranians gathered for the burial of a leading commander killed in a U.S. drone strike. The deaths in Qasem Soleimani's hometown of Kerman led to his interment being delayed. Millions are already estimated to have packed the streets for a series of funeral processions in Iran. Soleimani's killing has raised fears of a conflict between the U.S. and Iran. The head of the Quds force was tasked with defending and projecting Iranian interests abroad and was hailed as a hero in his home country. To the U.S., he was a terrorist, and in explaining why he ordered the strike, President Trump said he was acting on an imminent threat. It is unclear what caused the stampede in Kerman, southeastern Iran, but vast numbers of people had been in the streets on Tuesday morning ahead of the planned burial. A coroner quoted on Iran's ISNA put the death toll at 50, with those injured numbering more than 200. Sports news now, and we'll look at the big league, where Uganda Premier League a second round has returned after recess, with each of the teams fighting to impress. Now, many would say that the lines of who will walk away with the trophy have already been drawn between Vipers and KCCA FC. However, Bull FC and Sports Club Villa are holding on. KCCA's head coach Mike Mutebi believes they will put up a show in their opening game against Mbarara City this Wednesday.
Prepared to try and wrestle back the Uganda Premier League. Naku is back. He started training. Senyon Yosam is back. He started training. Nunda also started yesterday. Saddam also started today. Mike returned, so with the exception of those ones, of course, who you know have become perennial injury prone. The rest of the squad is back. Maybe Chiza, who has a growing problem, and Alan Okero, who has malaria, but the rest of the camp. Okay. Every game that we face consumes 3 points. There is justification for the club to reward them by extending contracts and having juicy contracts, improved contracts, as far as the remuneration is concerned. So that has been our policy, and that's what we are going to do.
KCCA head coach Mike Mutebi ending that report there. And on to basketball now, where the Federation of Uganda Basketball Association's 2019 men's playoff final between City Oilers and Uganda Christian University Cannons resumes on Friday. Now, the men's playoff final took a break last year to allow City Oilers take part in the Basketball Africa League qualifier in Kigali, Rwanda. By that time, reigning champions City Oilers led the best-of-7 series by 2 games to 1. Uganda Christian University Cannons head coach Nick Natwereza told our reporter that he expects his team to minimize on errors that cost them 2 games. On his part, City Oilers coach Mande Jiruni demands discipline from his players that are still short of numbers because of injury to many. And that was sports news. And let's have now a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow with Molen Kenyana.
Hello
Hello again, I'm happy to have you for tonight's weather update. My name is Mollen Kenyana. Now, we've been seeing mostly sunny conditions across much of the country, especially to the north. However, we've also seen some rains across the Lake Victoria Basin as well as parts of western Uganda. And by 9 o'clock this morning, we had Bushenyi reporting a total of 7.9 millimeters of rainfall. We also had Masaka reporting a total of 7.3 millimeters. Now, we look at our satellites, we can see that we still have moist winds that are blowing in through the Congo forests towards our country. Now, those coupled with the local effects of Lake Victoria are responsible for the rains that we have, especially across the southern sector. Now, at the same time, we also have dry winds that are coming in through the north, and those are bringing about the dry and hazy conditions that we have across much of the country. Now, tomorrow in the morning, we're likely to start off the day with some light rains. Those will be across parts of the Lake Victoria Basin, and also in the country, we'll have mostly intervals of sunny and cloudy conditions. Pretty sunny though across the northern half of our country. Now, later in the afternoon, we'll still be dealing with some of those rains still across the Lake Victoria Basin, parts of eastern Uganda. We'll also be seeing some light rains. Those will be across parts of western Uganda. Now, also in the country, we'll be seeing intervals of sunny and cloudy conditions. We'll move over to our daytime highs, where we're likely to have a maximum of 27. That will be across the nation's capital, Kampala. We'll have very warm weather across the Karamoja region. Temperatures will rise up to 31. We'll also be seeing a maximum of 30 across Gulu. Very warm weather as well across that area. I'll also take you through some of the world cities where we're forecasting light rains. Those will be across Nairobi, Kigali, as well as Paris. We're likely to have sunny conditions across Dubai, though temperatures will be trending a little bit lower than what we had today. We'll see a maximum of 24 degrees centigrade. And with that, we come to the end of today's weather report. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Mollen Kenyana. Have a blessed day tomorrow.
And a blessed day to you too, Mollen Kenyana. Thank you so much for that weather forecast for tomorrow. And before we leave you, let's have a quick reminder of our top stories. In the news tonight, President Musevenis says information gathered during the trek is for future planning. Police in Gulu block MP Chagulanyi consultation meetings. Stampede kills more than 30 mourners at Kasem Soleimani burial. And in sports, the national under-17 women team intensify training ahead of game against Ethiopia. And that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Mugalu Mohammed, and I am Edward Rukidi Kijanangoma. Wishing you a blessed night. Catch you tomorrow.
Was brought to you by UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements.